Hey guys, TV Publisher 1 back again here with Malcolm in the Middle Season 1 Episode 10, Stock Car Races. Dewey makes Reese get in trouble by a hit joke learned from Malcolm where he pretends that Reese is hitting him but isn't actually, and gets in trouble with Lois. Caroline sends home lots of flyers and Reese makes fun of Malcolm's square dancing, he'll be doing that day. Malcolm is not wanting and not looking forward to going to school, but Hal makes him go with him and the boys. Stanley tells Francis and meanwhile not to mess with the Tuffins, but he does. Saved by the arrival of Spangler, who finds Francis with a cigarette and breaks rules and tells Francis that he will never make it. Thanks to Cadet and hit him, and they will be punished severely. Hal plans something that has been prepared for years as he brings the boys not to school but to stock car races, as I mentioned earlier. At the house, Lois looks for the paychecks everywhere, flustered. With the boys, Francis shows Stanley Otis the snake he bought at school. Stanley goes along with Francis. Hal brings the boys to NASCAR racing, where he shows them Rusty Malcolm's last race and excited to show them Malcolm named after race. And this is the big thing that Hal had been preparing to show these kids for years, and he should have just been so excited. It's one of his passions. Lois is at home with the evidence. The boys look for Dewey outside and stumble across an unauthorized room where they get caught. The boys are bored of watching the NASCAR and go do something else. Have some fun. Caroline arrives and sees Lois and tells her that Malcolm ditched school and may have body issues. Lois tells Francis that he should stay away after getting in trouble with the Colonel. Hal reunites with the boys, who see the policeman while Hal doesn't care and runs, kicking. That's sort of the basic premise and basic bits of storyline that get involved in the story. This one, Stock Car Races, wasn't expecting too much from it. But again, this one was quite a surprise and I really liked it. Stock Car Races. I've got a simple premise there. The side story, as I must get to, Francis and Spangler. What happened in that one? Well, I can tell you that Francis gets a little off there. You gotta feel sorry for Spangler a little bit. I mean, he does some horrible stuff and all that. But you gotta feel for it that his pet has gone and everyone hated that. But anyway, so Francis gets on the good end at the end of this episode, along with Stanley. Lois and Caroline get to meet for a good chat up, and that's quite funny to see and quite adorable. This unlikely pair get to meet up and see and talk about how Malcolm's getting on and the whole boys aspect, and it's really entertaining. Actually, I want to see more of that dynamic in the future. Just a really interesting polar sort of different personality style clashing or whatever, but not really clashing. You know, they get to talk it out for 2 hours, as Caroline states that she's learned more in 2 hours than 6 years of teaching. That's funny. So anyway, Hal brings the guys to soccer races. Reese mainly expects it to be more blow up and stuff and more demolition derby style, but it ends up being something really long, 4-hour long race of different laps. As you know, NASCAR is, you either love it or you hate it, really. Rusty Malcolm, he's so proud of seeing his guy's last race, who he named Malcolm after. And yeah, it's really funny. He makes some fun jokes. Hal is funny. That's funny in this episode. I don't know. He worked well with the script in this one. It felt like him in this episode, for true. And at the end where he kicks the officer, hilarious. And yeah, Reese is really good, and so is Malcolm. And Dewey goes missing for a bit, as he usually does, like for the 10th time in the series this season, which is hilarious. And the gag where they're watching the race and it feels like days, and it pans up to the sun moving in the sky to show time passing, and there's Dewey, Reese and Malcolm all lying down, so tired and exhausted, waiting as the race continues, and then you see Dewey tick off one lap. That was really funny, a nice visual gag. Yeah, that's what it does This episode does some good. I don't like to see Hal's facial expressions. It's just amazing. And we also get to see Francis with a snake, which is always worth seeing to see how he works out with the snake. And again, a little bit of Francis and Hal's sort of side clumsy characters. Kind of, you can match them up, and they are showable. And yeah, that's it. That's been stock car races. Really enjoyable. Well, kind of enjoyable. Really enjoyable. In between the two, I think it was a kind of solid episode. Very funny. First time around I saw it. Not so good the second time, but anyway. Well, sorry, it is good the second time. I watched it twice and maybe just let out from there. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, Lowe's didn't get to work as much this time, but hey, stock car races. Yeah, worth watching, definitely. So it's TB and TV Rubbish 1, and thank you guys for watching. Enjoy.